Hello, good morning, class. This is Robert Ho. Today is September 22nd, Thursday at 9:30 a.m. In this video live lesson, I would like to discuss or compare and contrast uh, amongst operating system on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Okay, so what is the difference between Linux and Windows, or perhaps uh, what are the pros and the cons? Let's talk about Windows first, right? Because perhaps Windows are the most popular ones. So let me put Windows here first, right? Windows, Windows, the pros and the cons. Okay. The first thing is they are user friendly. Okay, it's a GUI based and user friendly. Okay? So that's probably one of the benefit of using Windows. User-friendly and graphical user interface. Okay. Second advantages of Windows are large range of software. There are many software or applications that are available in Windows. Okay, that's why a lot of people are using Windows. Also, uh, Windows is Windows has the largest market share in the world and also in the US, okay, except in certain country. Okay, so we have a user-friendly, large range of software and pre-install on many devices. When a user or person buy a computer, most likely they are a Windows-based operating system, okay? They are pre-installed. So if you go to Best Buy or Walmart to buy Dell computer or HP computer, most of them they are Windows OS already pre-installed. All right. So that's the third one. The fourth one, comprehensive driver support. When you try to connect many devices together like printer, scanner, digital camera, or sound card, there are a lot of driver like utilities program, okay, that are compatible with them. So those are advantages of having Windows. Okay, that's why Windows are so popular. And what are the cons? The cons are they are more frequently targeted by malware or viruses. Okay, because Windows is so popular, so they have a lot of viruses. Viruses they are targeted by malware and viruses. Okay, that's the cons of having Windows using Windows. And this is not an open source. Okay, so excuse me. So Windows is not an open source. It's a proprietary operating system. That means people need to buy the operating system. Okay, if you are a student, you may have a discount. Okay, uh, it's not an open source. Okay, it's not an open source. That means it's a proprietary software. Okay, you can also buy in licenses. For example, if you have 5 computers in the house, you may just buy one software with 5 licenses. So that probably uh, will be cheaper. Overly complex, I wouldn't put this, so let me delete that. So that's probably one of the pros. These are some of the pros and cons of using Windows. All right. The next thing we're gonna talk about is Linux, right? Linux. Linux program, let me give you some example of Linux, okay? Uh, One of the popular one is called Ubuntu, okay? So if you go to Ubuntu, let me see, I believe it's ubuntu.com. No, ubuntu.com. Here, here we go. These are some of the most popular one, right? Ubuntu. Ubuntu is similar to Windows, but this is an open source operating system. So let me see if I can give you some example. Here we go, the desktop version, right? Notice that they are almost similar to Windows, except a little bit the interface may be a little bit different. See if I can give you some example here. All right, so apparently I couldn't find that, but you can go to this website, Ubuntu for desktop, and you will see you can download this operating system for free. All right. So Ubuntu. All right. So those are the most popular one. What are the pros or advantages? One of them is free. Okay. So they are free for user to download and use it. Okay. Mostly open source. They are actually open source. Like I mentioned to you, you can just go to this website and download it. Let me see if I wanna show you the Ubuntu interface look like. Okay, Ubuntu. Okay. Here, if I go to Ubuntu, this is how it looks like. Okay, the interface is like this, right? Notice that they are similar to Windows, right? Not exactly, but they are more or less are the same. Okay. Uh, all right. So let me close this down. Okay. So they are free to download and use. They are open source, right? You can download and modify the program. Okay. And they are secure and stable, right? They are secure and stable. I'm gonna put this secure. All right. Uh, Extensive configuration possibilities. Uh, if you are a technical person, then you can modify and configure the operating system, right? So those are the pros. What are some of the advantages? The disadvantages. The disadvantages is they have a limited range of software. Unlike Windows, okay, because this is an open source, so they may not have as much as application as Windows, because Windows have been around for many years and they are very popular among users. So they have a lot of apps, okay, that you can purchase and download in the store or on the internet. All right. Significant barrier to entry for those with little IT knowledge. This may be somewhat true, okay, because nowadays they make this Ubuntu program is easier to use. Okay, so in the past, students need to be a little bit technical to use this Ubuntu, but nowadays they make it user friendly. As you can see that as of today, September 22nd, okay, uh, the version is 22.2, right? 22.2, all right. No, I actually doesn't want to download because this is a big file. So let me pause this. Okay. I don't want to download this program. Okay. So this is a big file. Okay. Uh, Look at the system requirement, recommended system requirement. You need to have at least 2 gigahertz dual processor CPU or better. We need to have 4 gig of system memory, 25 gig of free hard drive space, right? Internet access is helpful. Whenever you download and install program, always read the system requirement, because if your PC does not meet the requirement, you may not be able to install this. Okay. Let's say that you only have 1 gig of memory, then you may not be able to install Ubuntu operating system. However, most of the computer nowadays, they have at least 4 gigabyte, right? If you purchase the computer like the last 4 years, you may have 4, sometimes 8. My PC at the office here, I have 16 gigabyte of memory. All right. Okay. So that is on the Ubuntu, the pros and the cons, right? I will put this note in the, I will email this note in the, I will email this note in Blackboard so student can have access to this. So we had discussed Linux and Windows. Okay, let's talk about Mac now, right? Mac. Okay, so, Mac, pros of Mac. Okay, let me see the pros of a Macintosh. I think some of you in the class may use Mac. Okay, so the first one is lesser malware and other security issues or vulnerability. Mac are usually less vulnerable with viruses and malware. Okay, that's one of the reason people use Mac. Okay, if you're a Windows user, they are more prone into malware and viruses, unlike Mac, right? You have less vulnerable. Your Mac computer are less vulnerable with malware and other securities and vulnerability issues. Okay, they are also better and consistent operating system and hardware integration because they have their own ecosystem, right? Apple Mac, they sell their hardware and software within the company. So they have a better integration among software and hardware. Okay. They manufacture their own program and software. Okay. So let's say that you want to buy USB or the Thunderbolt cable, you need to go to the Apple store so the cable can be compatible with your Mac. Sometimes if you buy it from a third party companies or store, they may not compatible. Okay, when you try to plug in the cable, they're gonna say that your cable is not compatible with Mac. Please change that. I don't know if any of you that use Mac have experienced that. All right. So better consistent operating system and hardware integration. Uh, we have a fire drill here, so I think I'm gonna stop here probably. All right. We have a fire drill in STC, so I'm gonna stop here first. Stop presenting. Okay. And leave.